Hi, this is Niels from Orden Ogan, and you're listening to Rockum Radio.
How do you feel now that the Order of Fear has been released?
Well, I feel very well because, there's always some kind of tension when you're releasing an album. You never know how people are going to receive it and if they like it and so on. But the reaction from our fans have been very great so far. And for example, we made number 3 on the German charts, album charts, which is a very big thing for us. And it feels great. You never know if people like your stuff or not. You try your very best, and we are very happy with the album. But now that it's released, it feels great. Yeah.
Awesome. What inspired you to make this album heavier and more direct compared to your previous work?
It's not like we were inspired by anything really to make it heavier. It was just an idea to make it heavier. I think everyone in the band felt like, let's just go a little bit more back to the roots if you want. And that was the idea we had.
Okay. What was the biggest challenge in composing the Order of Fear?
Well, the biggest challenge was to get the right direction for this album. Because oftentimes in the past, when we started writing for an album, there were like a few ideas which brought us into a certain direction. For example, with the Gunman album, Sepp had some ideas which were pointing into this a Western kind of direction. And so we knew, this is what we want to do. And for this album, we had this idea, we want to make it a little bit more back to the roots and a little bit more heavier, if you want. But in the beginning, it didn't really click. So what happened, I don't know if you heard about that story. There's a guy whose name is Santi. He's a big fan of Orden Ogan for years, and he was releasing cover versions of Orden Ogan songs on YouTube, especially.
The guy from South America?
Yes. I think he's from Chile?
Paraguay.
Huh?
Paraguay,
yeah. No, Uruguay, I think. Or was it Paraguay? Well, South America.
Paraguay. Well, closer.
Yeah, South America. And sometimes he changed parts around a little bit. And then Sepp was like, well, actually, the way he did it, it's even better than we did it on the album. So sometimes Sepp is very spontaneous. So he just wrote him a message and he described that we wanted to go in a little bit more heavier direction and a little bit more back to the roots. And
wow,
I think he was a little bit starstruck, that guy. But then he delivered a few ideas, and actually after he did that, Sepp listened through it, and there were a few parts that Sepp liked very much, and then he was like, we should take this as the initial idea, and then it clicked, and this also inspired us to get into the right direction for the album, actually. And actually some of his parts or song ideas ended up on the album. If you read through the song credits, he's also credited, yeah.
Wow. First time I heard that kind of story in my life.
It can happen.
Yes. How important is it for you to keep orchestral elements in your songs?
I think it's just part of the Orden Ogan sound. It's what we had going on from the beginning in different variations, but we always liked the very epic sound of having like orchestral stuff and also some keyboard stuff in our sound. and it's part of our sound. Although I think most songs would even work without it. But this is what we like, and it gives a certain epicness to all the songs. So yeah, that's what we do.
Okay. How do you balance the more progressive elements with the more direct ones in your music?
Very good question. I mean, back in the day, especially during the first two albums, those were like, yeah, I mean, kind of more progressive than Orden Ogan is now. But throughout the years and throughout the development of the band, we all felt like, well, we need to get the songs more focused and more on point.
Mhm.
And but these progressive elements, they never go away completely. But what ends up happening is that let's take the Eastern Hope album, for example. I think there's no song below 5.5 minutes and so on. And I think it happened on the To the End album that we found this balance between, like, let's say, easy songs in a way,
Mhm.
but also having like songs which are a little bit more opulent, a little bit longer, a little bit more progressive. But in the end, it's always a matter of, does it suit the song or not? So on the one hand, we want to get on point, but on the other hand, it's like, well, we're feeling like this is going to be like a longer epic song. So we don't shy away from incorporating those more proggy elements. And yeah, we just try um, to put in what the song demands from our point of view. Yeah.
What is your favorite song from the new album and why?
Very good question. Um, for me, it changes every day, basically. Whenever I listen to the stuff, I don't listen to it that often anymore because during the recording and so on, we listen to it a lot, of course. But right now, I would say it's actually Conquest because we started playing this one live,
Okay.
and it works very well live. It's one of the more simple songs composing wise, but it has like a very good groove, a very good tempo, and some very good melodies. And yeah, I think that's my favorite right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of feedback have you received from your fans about the new album?
Well, so far we got generally positive feedback, which is great. But of course, you cannot always please everybody. There are always people who say, "Yeah, well, it's great, but I don't like this song, but I like this one more." But generally, it was very positive feedback. Yeah.
Okay. Why did you decide to release a ballad as the first single from the album?
That's also a very good question. We were thinking about which song to release first, and usually what most bands do is maybe release um, like maybe the hardest or fastest song at first, or maybe releasing the one that you think will be the most popular. But actually, we couldn't really choose which one it should be. So we said, well, okay, let's start with this kind of power ballad thing at first and ease people in a little bit.
Okay.
And then bring the more harder and faster songs a little bit later. And of course, it was a little bit of a gamble because you never know what people think about that. But I think the idea was mostly to put out something at first which people maybe don't expect.
What is the main message you want to convey with the Orden of Fear?
Well, I don't think that Orden Ogan is necessarily a band that puts out messages per se. Um, I'm pretty sure that Zeb has an opinion about that. He's also writing all the lyrics for Orden Ogan. Um, but actually, I don't. I mean, I know a little bit what he thinks about it, but I prefer to let people interpret that for themselves.
Okay.
I mean, there are stories on the album about the abuse of power and so on, and like people getting cheated, like our main character, Alista Vale, who tries to do good but ends up in a very bad place and so on. But I don't want to give away too much. I mean, listen to it and make it up for yourself. That's what I have to say about that.
Talking about Alistair Vale,
Yeah.
tell us more about the story of Alistair Vale, and how did he evolve in this album?
Yeah, for the people that don't know, Alista Vale, if you watch our videos or our album covers, that's the guy with a hat, top hat, and yeah, and that's basically our mascot. And on I wouldn't say Orden Ogan does concept albums, but on every album there are at least a few songs that revolve around that character. Of course, oftentimes you can also interpret the songs in a different way, but you can also relate it to the character, whatever, blah blah blah. So the storyline so far for this character is that he's like a guy that back in the past used to be in a circle of aristocrats, and they were ruling a region, a land, a country, the world, whatever. And then he tried to destroy this circle of people because he noticed, yeah, this is not good for everyone. And so he did that, but then he got cursed by the remaining guys. And the curse of this character is that now he's basically walking through space and time, and that everywhere he goes, when he leaves, bad things are going to happen. Maybe people die, maybe cities burn down, and so on.
Wow.
So, or his girlfriend gets killed, for example, at some point. Things like that. It's not always like super bad, but bad things happen when he leaves. And but he's also cursed not to stay too long at one place, because even more bad things would happen. So he tries to get rid of this curse, and he gets told by some people. So now we're coming to the story of this album. By some people he met, that he should look up the Order of Fear. So these people who call themselves the Order of Fear, which is actually the translation for Orden Ogan.
Wow.
But maybe that question comes up later. Whatever. So he's been told, go to the Order of Fear. They can help you to get rid of this curse. Blah blah blah. So he looks up for these people, and he finally founds this circle of people, and they tell him, yeah, we can help you. We can help you get rid of your curse, but you have to perform a really bad ritual. In order to get rid of your curse, you have to kill your best friend. And if you watched our videos, that's actually in the Order of Fear video, where at the end he's got to kill this one guy, which is his best friend, basically. And he does it because, yeah, he doesn't want those bad things to happen when he comes to a place or leaves the place. But what happens in the end? Of course, he gets betrayed by this order. And actually, his curse is getting even worse. And by doing this very bad thing, killing his bad friend, he actually gives more power to this order, to the Order of Fear, and helps them to raise like the ancient forces, or especially like an old demon, which is, if you watch the Moonfire video at the end, you see this thing rise up, and that's actually because he performed this ritual. So that's the story so far. But we don't know yet what's going to happen after this album. I know I talk a lot now, but yeah, it's a lot of plot for such a small character, so to say.
Wow. Maybe someday a book is on the way. It's a beautiful story.
Well, actually, I think there would be enough story elements about this character, Alistair Vale, maybe to make movies or a Netflix series or something like that. But
Absolutely. Absolutely. How was it working with Dan Goldsworthy on the album artwork?
I mean, he's a great guy. I mean, I don't know if you know, back in the day, we had a lot of album cover art made by Andreas Marschall, the German guy who did like Blind Guardian, Sodom, and I think also Creator covers back in the day. But he's a very analog guy, and he's actually not working with bands that much anymore. And Dan Goldsworthy, we noticed him. I don't know where, but we knew about him and that he did some great covers. And he's also working in a modern way with a lot of digital graphic programs and so on. And yeah, we reported our ideas for the album cover to him, and it was actually very great because he's a very quick worker. And when the first versions came in, we could always say, yeah, maybe change this a little bit here and there. And he is like super quick and super creative. And yeah, it was great working with him. Yeah. And I think it's maybe one of the best Orden Ogan covers that we had so far, cover artwork. And actually, that's what a lot of people also told us. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love the color. It's my favorite color. Yes, I love it. I love it. The
Yeah,
art.
that's great. That's great. Thank you.
Very welcome. What musical influence have guided the development of the Order of Fear?
It's it's hard to say. I mean, everyone in the band is like a musician for so many years, and I think everything you ever listen to influences you in a certain way. So I cannot say that there were any special influences for this album. But yeah, we are all influenced by everything from new wave of British heavy metal, and even like death metal of the 90s and so on, and maybe even pop music here and there. So I cannot say that there's a specific influence on us for this specific album. As I said, I believe that everything you ever listen to influences you in a certain kind of way.
Okay. What are your plans for the future of Orden Ogan after the Order of Fear?
Yeah, well, as of now, we are playing a lot of festivals, summer festivals, and
Yeah, I see
we
it.
already had like a small tour with a band called Feuerschwanz in Germany at the beginning of the year. This tour is going to continue at the end of this year, and we're going to play some more dates around Europe. And I think we just announced a show that we're going to play in the UK this year as well. And for next year, there'll be more touring. That's what I can tell you.
All right. Crazy question. All right. A crazy question, right? Okay. If you could choose any superpower to use on stage, what would it be and why?
Oh, it's
Mhm.
a superpower. This I'm not creative enough to answer these kind of questions. Which superpower? I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe I need some kind of fairy dust that I can spread around the world and make everybody happy.
Oh, cool.
I want that superpower.
I heard about cell phones to disappear all the smartphone.
No, actually, I don't care about that too much. Also, I know a lot of musicians and also fans say like, "Oh, just go and enjoy the concert. Why do you have to film this right now?" But first of all, I think it has become less than it was. And actually, I don't mind that people just take a video clip or whatever, and maybe they just do it for themselves. Some people post it online, and it's all fine for me. I mean, if you're standing there for the whole show doing that, that's a little bit weird. And I think, yeah, what are you doing?
Yes.
Maybe enjoy the show, but I mean, for some people, it's important to not only have the experience in their memory, but take pictures or videos in order to remind them of maybe how great it was, hopefully, and maybe also to put it online and to show your friends. Yeah, I've been to this show; it's been great. I don't have that big of a problem with people putting out their cell phones at shows and taking pictures or videos.
Oh, all right, all right. What is the strangest or most unusual item someone has asked you to sign?
Most unusual. Well, it's always funny when people want to have body parts signed, you know. I don't know if that is so special because I think actually every band had to do this at some point. But was there anything else? No, I can't remember. It's often the usual stuff like you sign albums and sometimes cups and so on. I don't know.
All right. If
Yeah.
Orden Ogan could play anywhere in the world, no matter how crazy, where would it be?
I would like to play basically everywhere where we are welcome. You know, but of course, in this day and age, you cannot go to any country anymore because there are problems, political problems, wars, and so on. For example, actually, at the beginning of 2022, we were supposed to play in Russia, like I think in March or so. But we all know what happened, like in I think it was February.
Nobody know. Nobody knew.
Yeah, nobody knew, but yeah, then that got canceled, and
Oh my God. The Russians are super heavy.
yeah, I mean, I would like to play anywhere I never played before. I mean, we mostly played like Europe, most of Europe, and few shows in Japan, very few shows in North America. I've never been to South America, and well, even North America, we only played like 3 shows there, I think. So I'm still looking forward to that it's going to happen one day, and yeah.
Any plans for a Canadian tour in the future?
Let's say we are hoping to play there one day, but I don't think there's anything I can talk about for real, because as a band of our size, it's not that easy to go to North America in general or even Canada or whatever, because it's expensive.
Yes.
And you need like a package where okay, maybe we don't make a lot of money, but at least we have to balance the cost. It's always an issue. And of course, we would like to play for every fan everywhere, but we will see. I'm hoping for Canada. Never been to Canada, but we will see.
Any last words in this interview, Niels?
Yeah, so thanks to everyone for listening and watching. And if you haven't checked out our latest album, The Order of Fear, check it out. We've got a few clips on YouTube. The whole album is on Spotify. If you like it, follow us on any social media channel and maybe buy the album.